No. So, and I'm like following along. So I'm just following along and I'm like, I just want to know if I'm going to have a house. Well, they give you a voucher for every job, so it's not get it. I'll just get you to that. Yeah. She always needs to be at least one body length away from the picture.
that the fact that your husband is to be beheaded in a month is, in its way, a drawback. Does he take the top off it, you know?
I don't know about that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily, bless you. It all depends.
I think it very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day. If my married happiness is to be
cut short?
Well, cut short, Mama! Can't you let me forget it?
Young in tears, and on her wedding morn.
They've been reminding me that you're to be beheaded.
Yes, we've been reminding her that you're to be beheaded!
It is true, you know, you are to be beheaded.
Ha! Now some bridegrooms would be depressed by this sort of thing. A month! Well, what's a month? But these divisions of timey-wimey stuff are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
A little depends on your planet's rotation, doesn't it?
Precisely! Time is but a construct. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. At that rate, we've about 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this interview has lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes. How time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself.
That's the way to look at it. Don't be downhearted. There's a silver lining to every collapsing star.
Let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry.
What ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day. Joyous are we, give thee greeting. Whither art thou fleeting? Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay.
What to them mortal joys me on?
Leisure come if sorrows follow. Though the toasting sound alone. Until the shadows fall over one and over all. Sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal. Fa la 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 la. Let us try the ready tale, though the hours are surely creeping, literally for woeful weeping, till the sad sundown is near, till the sad sundown is near.
All must sip the cup of sorrow.
I today and thou tomorrow,
This the close of every song.
by degrees. Begin by wrapping your arm round her waist. There, let me get used to that first.
Wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now, oblige me by letting her head rest upon your shoulder. Thank you, I'm much obliged. Now, kiss her. Thank you. It's simple torture.
Come, bear up. After all, it's only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you
What do
mean?
you mean?
My little child, my poor child. How shall I tell her? Ah, my little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been?
Yes, you never can be mine.
I'm so glad!
I've just ascertained that by Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive! It's a most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
From Hoopa, he's my solicitor.
But he may be mistaken.
So I thought. So I consulted the Attorney General, the Lord Chief Justice, the Master of Rules, the Judge Ordinary, and the Chief Commissioner. They're all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
But stop a bit. This law has never been put in force.
Not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation, and married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I quite forgot that. Well, I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't wish to appear selfish, and I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anybody else half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea, pet, that I should have to be buried alive in a barn!
Nor I. It's the very first I've heard of it.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
Oh, it makes a difference, of course.
You see, buried alive, it's such a stuffy death.
I call it a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on your carrying out your promise, I doom you to a hideous death. If I release you, you marry Coco at once.
Here's how to do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's how to do, here's how to do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things. With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what we say is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty how to do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's how to do.
Here's how to do. For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty how to do. I'm really very sorry for you, my boy.
Thanks, old fellow, I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
I quite see that.
I can't conceive of anything more distressing than to have one's marriage broken off at the last moment. But you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
It's awfully kind of you, but I'm afraid that's impossible.
Why so?
Today I die.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
perform the happiest batch.
But no, stop, listen, be reasonable. Why, hang it all, you're under contract to die at the hands of the public executioner. If you kill yourself, what's to become of me? Why, I shall have to be executed in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
Play the kettle. Now that what is it? Mikado in his galactic star cruiser has just entered the atmosphere and will be here in 10 minutes' time. Mikado? No doubt he's here whether his orders have been carried out. Now look here, you! This is getting serious. A bargain's a bargaining. You really mustn't frustrate the ends of justice by committing suicide. As a gentleman and a man of honor, you are bound to die ignominiously at the hands of the public executioner.
Oh, very well then. Behead me.
What? Now?
Certainly. At once.
Chop it off, Coco. Chop it off. My good sir, I don't go well prepared to execute a gentleman at a moment's notice. Why, I never even killed a womp rat.
Still, as Lord High Executioner, you
My
are...
good sir, as Lord High Executioner, I've got to kill him in a month. I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. I mean to take lessons. I was going to start at a triple and work my way up through the lower life forms till I come to a second trombone. I don't suppose as a humane man, I'd have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought the duties were purely nominal. I can't kill him. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Come now. Poor fellow. We all have unpleasant duties to discharge at times. After all, what is it? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later, it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Why should I kill you when signing an affidavit that you've been executed will do just as well? Why, look, here there are plenty of witnesses. There's the Lord Chief Justice, the Lord High Admiral, the Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of State to the Home Department, First Lord of the Treasury, and Commissioner of Police.
But where are they?
Well, here they are. And they'll all agree to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all us high officers of state are required to perjure ourselves in order to ensure your safety?
Why not? You'll be grossly insulted as usual.
Will the insult be cash down or at date?
It will be a ready money transaction.
Give me the good white one.
This is inflation.
Well, it shall be a useful discipline. Very well. Choose your fiction and I'll endorse it. Ha! Family pride. How do you like that, me buck?
But I tell you that Yum is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
Oh, yum. Commissioner! Still have a couple left here. Go and fetch Yum. Take Yum and marry Yum and go away and never come Yum back again. Yum. Are you particularly busy?
Not particularly.
You've got 5 minutes to spare?
Yes.
Then go along with His Grace, the Archbishop of Titipu, and he'll marry you at once.
But if I'm to be buried alive.
Oh, don't ask questions, but do as I say, and Nanky Pool explains all.
But one moment.
Not for worlds. Here comes the Mikado, no doubt to ascertain whether I've obeyed his decree. And if he finds you alive, I will have the greatest difficulty in persuading him I beheaded you. Close thing that, but here he comes. bless us with thy glorious rays, like the beaming suns above a sky our gaze. Let the galaxy echo with thy praise. If he love us, bless us with thy glorious rays, like the beaming suns above a sky our days. Let the galaxy echo with thy praise.
From every kind of man, obedience I expect. I'm the Emperor of Japan.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He led his son, he's only got one, to his daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared particularly correct.
But the nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Oh, to his daughter-in-law elect.
In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect. Oh, cheerfully own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect. As tough as a bone with a wing of her own, is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and light, my freedom from all defect.
He is insignificant, quite compared with his daughter-in-law elect. Oh, to his daughter-in-law elect.
To his daughter-in-law elect.
A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make, to some extent, each evildoer a running sewer of harmless merriment. My object, oh sublime, I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pant, unwillingly represent, a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. The astronaut who, with the hubris of man, in his spaceship his planet escapes, will be made for a moocher when flung to the future, enslaved by intelligent apes. The idiot wordsmith whose terrible lyrics fill dozens of pop music tones shall be deeply annoyed when his planet's destroyed and he's tortured with vogue and poems. The upstarted trainees whose hunger for spice turns him into a despot divine is directed by force to remedial courses in popcorn bucket design. The headstrong apprentice who never listens lest any more younglings he harms. From the higher up ground, by his master he's down, and in lava he loses both arms. My object, oh sublime, I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make his prisoner pant, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object
no thought, and left to be lost in space. The renegade cop whom destruction follows, we throw in our freezing cells. Decades later he'll fall, reassigned to the law, and be forced to use the 3 shells. The whimsical time lord who causes commotion while taking our world for a whirl. We drag on weary through reruns and series. Most recently one is a girl. The Corellian smuggler who dumps out his payload or comes back to tribeful light is shipped to be sold in his own cargo hold in a fresh slab of carbonite. My optical sublime, I shall achieve in time to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and if his prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, With optical sublime, he will achieve in time to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make his prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Welcome, Your Majesty. I had guessed the object of Your Majesty's visit. Your wishes have been carried out. The execution has taken place.
Oh, you had an execution, have you?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me his certificate.
I am the coroner, Your Majesty. And this is the certificate of his death at Titipu in the presence of the Lord Chamberlain, Lord Chief Justice, Attorney General, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor and groom of the second floor front.
They were all present, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
Very good house. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
Oh, a tough fellow he was, too. A man of gigantic strength. His struggles were terrific. It really was a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bared my big right arm. I seized him by the nape of his neck, and to his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and guggled, I drew my speaker's knee. My speaker's knee. Oh, ne'er shall I forget the cry or the shriek that shrieked at me, as I gnashed my teeth when from its sheath I drew my snicker's knee. We told him well he cannot tell what is true or round the stairs. He always tries to love the light, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he didn't deserve. When all of a sudden his eye met mine, and it seemed to place his head. He nodded his head and kissed his hat and whistled and then
It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent off and not, but as harmful as could be. For it clearly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. And its own, I found, that death they found, was a touching sight to see. Though troublous yet, it couldn't forget the deference due to me. His thoughts to you, he speaks the truth, whenever he finds it pays. And in his face, it all took place, exactly as he says, exactly, 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 exactly.
But we care about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of Japan, bolted from our galactic seat.
Indeed. Had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. Yet he fled.
I am surprised that he should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You would hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain. But you know nothing. You are still unenlightened. Learn then that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come light years to see it. And my right elbow holds a fascination to which resistance is futile.
Permit me.
It is on display Tuesdays and Fridays on presentation of a visitor's card. Moreover, my pheromones have been acclaimed as overpowering.
And yet he fled.
And is now masquerading on this planet, disguised as a second trombone.
A second trombone?
Yes, would it be troubling you too much if I asked you to produce him? He goes by the name of...
Titipu! It's rather easy. That is to say, it's quite difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
He's on vacation in Lost in Paradise.
What's the matter?
See here. His name, Titipu, beheaded this morning. Oh, where shall I find another? Where shall I find another?
Dear. This is very tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, it appears you have beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology to your Majesty.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We really hadn't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I have no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
We are infinitely obliged to your Majesty.
Much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Obliged not a bit, don't mention it. How could you tell?
No, of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
It wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been written on his pocket handkerchief. But then obscure alien races probably don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget! The punishment punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent. Punishment? Yes. Something lingering with boiling oil in it, I fancy. Something of that sort. I think boiling oil occurs in it, but I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering, with either boiling oil or being launched into the sun. Come. Don't fret, I'm not a bit angry.
If your majesty will accept our apologies, we had no idea.
Of course.
I knew nothing about it.
I wasn't there.
That's the pathetic part of it. Unfortunately, the fool of an act says, compassing the death of the heir apparent. There's not a word about a mistake. No, or not knowing, no, or having no notion,
No.
or not being there.
No.
There should be, of course,
Yes.
but there isn't. No. That's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. However, don't worry, it'll be all right. I'll have it altered next session. Now, let's see to your execution. Would after luncheon suit you? Can you wait till then?
Yes, we can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world, and virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances. See how the fates there gets a lot, for A is happy, B is not, yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is B more worthy?
I should say he's worth a great deal more than A.
Yet A is happy, oh so happy, laughing, ha, chatting, ha, nectar, quaffing, ha, ever joyous, ever gay, happy, undeserving A, ever joyous, ever gay, happy, undeserving A. If I were fortune, which I'm not, B should enjoy A's happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B.
But should A perish,
That should be, of course, assuming I am B. B should be happy, oh so happy, laughing, ha, chaffing, ha, nectar, quaffing, ha, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious B. But condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious B.
Not my good end.
Well, a nice mess you've got us into with your naughty head, your deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail indeed. Corroborative fiddlestick.
You're just as bad as he is with your cock and a bull stories about catching his eye and whistling in air. But that's so like you, you must put in your oar.
And what about your big right arm?
Yes, and your snicker-snee.
Well, never mind that now. There's nothing to be done about that. Nanki Boo hasn't started. He must be made to come to life again. Where is he? Oh, Nanki Boo! There he is! Nanki Boo! I've got good news! You've been reprieved!
Oh! But it's too late. I'm a dead man, and I'm off for my honeymoon.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Nonsense, nonsense! A terrible thing has just happened! It seems you're the son of the Mikado!
Yes. But that happened some time ago.
Is this a time for airy persiflage? The Mikado pillar is here, and with Katisha!
The Mikado pillar? And with Katisha?
Yes, and he wants you particularly!
So does she.
Oh, but he's married now.
But bless my heart, what is that to do with it?
Katisha claims me in marriage, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist on my execution, and if I'm executed, then my wife will have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty?
Yes! I don't know what to do!
There is one chance for you. If you could convince Katisha to marry you, she would have no further claim on me, and in that case, I could come to life with no further fear of being put to death.
I married Katisha.
I really think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling!
Ah, that's only her face. She has a left shoulder blade.
Her right elbow is much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I am disinclined to pin my heart upon any lady's right elbow.
It comes to this. While Katisha is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. When Katisha is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, trod under binary system sunshine, inspire us to merrily sing, tra-la, the heartening throng as they bring, tra-la, of exquisite botanical wine, of exquisite botanical wine. And that's what we mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. The spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, is welcome as flowers in spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers of Titipu spring, tra-la, are actually apt in my case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a vicious, vindictive thing, tra-la, with a cannibalistic embrace, with a cannibalistic embrace. Carnivorous flowers that snap and that sting, the vile vegetation of Titipu spring, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, oh bother the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
mercy on him. See here, you have slain my lot. He did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I have an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me.
Ah, no one knows what a task it is to train up one's fiancé, madam.
Silence, one. Well, he's dead now, and where shall I find another? It takes years to train a man to love me. Am I to go the weary round again, and at the same time implore mercy for you, who robbed me of my prey and my pupil, just as his education was on the point of completion? No. Where shall I find another?
Now you're quiet. Here! Here!
What?
Katisha, for years, I've loved you with a white hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Ah, shrink not from me. If there is aught of a woman's mercy in your heart, turn not away from a lovesick supplicant whose every fiber thrills with your tiniest touch. True it is, under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are broiling the soul within me. The fire cannot be smothered. It defies all attempts at extinction, and breaking forth all the more eagerly for its long restraint, it declares itself in words that will not be weighed, that cannot be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Katisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it! Darling!
Whose hands still reek with the blood of my betrothed, dare to address words of passion to a woman you are so foully wronged.
I do. Accept my love or I perish on the spot.
Go to. Who knows better than I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. A mechanical warbler in Automatown sang willow, titwillow, titwillow. And I asked him the cause of his LED frown. Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow. Is inadequate bandwidth the source of your woe? Or a rusty propeller I simply must know? But on and still on did his error tone go. Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow. With his unblinking aperture fixed upon me, singing willow, titwillow, titwillow, he plummeted out of his galvanized tree. Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow. He sputtered and spat and emitted a croak. Then he self-detonated in shrapnel and smoke. But the wee little crater still seemingly spoke.
Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow.
Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, Titwillow, Titwillow. 'twas blighted affection that made him exclaim, "Oh, widow, tit widow, tit widow." And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not exclaim as I die, "Oh, widow, tit widow, tit widow."
Did he really die of love?
He really did.
All on account of a cruel little hemorrhoid.
Yes.
Poor little bot.
It's an affecting tale, and quite true. I knew the bot intimately.
Did you? He must have been an extraordinarily affectionate mechanism.
His devotion was something extraordinary.
Beauty. You look out, do the same.
No, at once. I shall be lost like tears in rain. I am a leaf on the wind. Time to die!
No, you mustn't! Anything with that! Ah!
I'm a silly little goose.
You are!
And you won't hate me, because I'm just a little
Teeny weeny, wee bit bloodthirsty. Will you?
Hate you. Is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
My idea. Exactly. There's beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There's an eloquent outpouring when the supernova's roaring and the comet is a lashing of his tail.
Though it make the timid vomit, I enjoy to see a comet, and especially the lashing of its tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is complete, and earthquakes only terrify the dogs. But to be more scientific, there is nothing less terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yet in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so sweet, did someone away we go, and really then our time till day is done. There's beauty in extremely old age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting. Is the maiden always better when she's tough?
Oh, because my opinion is the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic with a room without romance. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed. If that is so dirty, it's evident that your taste so
Away we go, when you're ready, and our time is until day is done. That is so sweet, it's evident that your taste so
No sooner said than done, for here they are.
Mercy, mercy, mercy for Conker, mercy for Pity Sing, mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
I beg your pardon, I didn't quite catch that remark.
Mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
Mercy, my husband that was to have been is dead, and I have just married this miserable insect.
Oh, you've not been long about it, have you?
She went to Jared.
I am the manager of Jared, Your Majesty.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you have slain the heir apparent,
The heir apparent is not slain.
bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Exterminate!
Yes, you are entitled to a little explanation, but I think he will give it better whole than in pieces.
Your Majesty, it's like this. It is true I had stated I had killed Titipu.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to otherwise bald.
Will you refrain from putting in your oar? It's like this. When Your Majesty says, let the thing be done, well, the thing is done. Consequently, it is done. Practically, it is done. Because Your Majesty's will is law. When Your Majesty says, kill a gentleman, well, that gentleman is told off to be killed. Consequently, he's dead. Practically, he is dead. And if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. I am spoffed. More than spoffed. Flogged by this! Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
Oh, he's on my merry-go-round. You're a very will be merry. I think you like that to come. And join our expression of glee.
On the subject we pray we mum. Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've got a good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb, dumb, dumb. We take you and let us have dumb,